focus on being the best actor, actress that you can be. Invest in your skill set, invest in your tools, your headshots, your casting sites, all of those different things. These things are imperative for you to be successful in this craft.
Welcome back to another episode of the Arc Spotlight Podcast. I am your host, Aisha Collins. Today, we have a special guest on the show. His name is Tyrone Betters, and he has been on Tubi and Amazon Prime. So, Tyrone, thank you for joining us.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, my name is Tyrone Betters. I'm an actor that's based here in Dallas, Texas. I've been able to travel and do a whole bunch of things with my brand. I act, I model, everything that's in entertainment. I love it. I enjoy it. It is my passion, and I can't wait for y'all to get to know who I am.
So, speaking of getting to know who you are, let's get to know the beginning. How did Tyrone Betters get into acting and modeling and everything?
Man, that's so crazy. So, fall 2008, I was a freshman on the campus of Georgia Southern University, Hale Southern. Um, yeah, I was going to actually audition for a dance troupe by the name of Divergence, but I missed it by a day. So the day I went up there was a fashion show that the BSA holds, or our Black Student Alliance held, called Blaction, and didn't know anything about it. But they asked if I wanted to audition. I auditioned. I ended up making the roster, and the rest was history. Like when I went to school, I didn't want to do anything like that. And then once I got bit by the bug, it kind of just stuck with me till now. So that was 18 years ago, and we still at it.
So I know in Atlanta, from me being in Atlanta, I used to
hmm
live out there. I know acting and media is very famous out there. Did you
hmm
ever feel like, oh, I got this inspiration because I'm already living here?
No, when I started modeling, I was actually in Statesboro, Georgia. So we're about 3.5 hours away from Atlanta. Atlanta really wasn't popping on the movies tip. Now, I mean, there were some shows that was shooting. Um, Tyler Perry was building up. You had the original. I believe the originals was filming out there, and they had a sprinkle of other shows that was filming and whatever. But it didn't really start booming until I actually moved away, like around 2012, and that's when a lot of other things started happening. But you know what was so crazy during like some of the breaks or during the summer, I would come back up to the Atlanta area, Metro Atlanta area, and I would go out, like go to some of the agencies that was running at that time, and they told me I just don't have what it takes. Like they was like, no, we looking for this, we looking for this, we're doing this. So it was very discouraging at first, but I just stayed at it. And it's so funny, like a lot of the agencies that told me that I wasn't ready or didn't have what it take, pretty much not here anymore, which is crazy. But it happens, you know what I'm saying? So I think right there, those were my battlegrounds. That was the trench work where I was trying to cultivate myself and my skill set. So my main focus was being the best model that I could be. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to do runway, I wanted to do fashion, print, all of those different things. And so in that span of '08 to let's say spring 12, when I graduated, I would go back and forth between Georgia and Dallas. Back in the day, we had a thing called Model Mayhem. I would do TFPs. I would go to Go Sees. I would go try out for fashion shows and runway shows and just consistently work on the craft. And I think that's something that's missing today in a lot of industries is nobody is in love with the process and bettering themselves in their craft. Right. Me, I fell in love with the craft first. I can be honest. I didn't get paid in this field until what, my seventh year. So by that time, I had got into acting. So 2012, 2013, that's when I got into acting. A mentor of mine by the name of Willie Johnson. He's a great guy out here that mentors a lot of us and has mentored a lot of us. And he just told me, hey, you need to get into commercial broadcast. And I kept fighting him on it. But I think 2012, 2013, I just listened. I went to KD Studio right here and did a introductory to commercial and then introductory to acting. And pretty much after that, it was, all right, let's see what we can do. And then 2014 is when I made the switch from modeling to acting. I was just kind of just tired of like the mundane stuff, and I just kind of felt like I was running in circles and not really getting anywhere with what I was doing. But once I made the full transition into get into acting, I booked my first commercial, and the rest was history.
And so, like, when you speak about when people said no to you as far as like modeling or getting rejected for acting, how did you handle rejection?
I mean, well, I've heard no so much in my career. Like it just brushed off my shoulder. Now there's times where it's like opportunities I wish I could have booked or things I could have had, but it wasn't in the cards for me. And then it went. It did whatever's mine is going to be mine. There's nothing I can do about it. But the one thing that has been my superpower is remaining a student to the craft.
Yeah, because I see social media is definitely taking off,
Yeah,
way before back in the early and mid 2000s
exactly.
when everything was like TV. And if you're not on
Mhm.
TV or in magazines, no one knew who you were. Now, when you started getting into acting, were
Mhm.
you like filming yourself in your own room or in front of a mirror?
Was in class and I was in workshops. So again, I was at KD Studio taking some of their classes. Development, working on your foundation, working on your core, working on all of those different things is important. People want to get, all right, I'm gonna go do background on one movie and now I'm supposed to be doing a speaking role. But they didn't do the training. They don't know how to, break down a script, how to create these characters, all the different things. That's training. That's work. That's doing the work. You know what I mean? And it's hard to work while you're at work. You know what I mean? So like the training happens every day, whether you're in a class or whether you're reading a book or whether you're just watching TV and studying the people that you see. Training is everything.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the training because, when I first picked up a camera during the pandemic,
Hmm.
I did go to school for photography and
Of
videography,
course,
but I knew, hey, I got to get a mentor. I got to start going to classes.
that's it.
I need somebody to teach me in workshops on how to edit and everything.
Hmm.
And it's like I learned some of it working at Best Buy, but I knew I still needed further training from people who've been doing photography
Absolutely.
and videography 20 plus years.
Finding a good mentor as well is everything. I've had the privilege of meeting some wonderful people along the journey, that has helped, and poured into me and gave me advice and everything and all the things. And it's worked and benefited in my favor.
What was that moment like when you first starred in your first movie and you
Ah.
seen it on the big screen?
I did a student film. It was a competition, horror film competition. And again, I'm still fresh into this. This had to be, what was this? This was 2013, 2014, around that time. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. I look back at some of that stuff now. I'm like, yo, you were so bad. But it's okay because you have to be bad. You have to go through the stages of being bad. Everybody wants to be a finished product right off the back, and it just does not work like that. So yeah, when I watched it, I was just like, yo, this is too cool, and I want this feeling all the time.
And what role have you played in where you felt like it really pushed you to the limit?
Honestly, it's the role that I'm playing now. It's called 3%. Shout out to my guy Truman, True Entertainment, and my dude Cursion Jones of Q and Coda production. It's actually based on a true story. One of the executive producer that's behind the film. So he was heavy in the streets and everything, and then one day they tried to assassinate him, and he got shot in his eye. And when
Oh,
he was in the hospital, the doctor said he had 3% chance of living. So henceforth the title 3%. And with this character, what's so crazy, even I could go last year. I went through a lot. I was going through a lot last year. And I actually ended up walking away from the project before we ever got into production. And 2 months went by. I got back into audition mode, and then Cursion reached out to me and he was like, yo, we're not recasting. So let me know when you're ready to go in December. And that felt like everything to me because that meant that the role was for me. It was for me. And it's such a feeling of validation because I know I put the work in. I would say playing true, 3%, this is the one that's been the most challenging so far.
that sounds like an interesting film. I can't
It
wait to see
is. It
it when
is. You're
it,
gonna love it.
finished.
So shout out to Black Script, my people at Black Script. They were able to post it. Shout out to Corey Love as well. Corey Love. They posted when we dropped the teaser trailer, and it got good reviews. It got good reviews. Everybody was loving it. So now we just gotta keep up that momentum. I will say, please go stream Love and Larceny. It's a series that I'm in that's streaming on Tubi. Love and Larceny, myself, we got Keisha Day, we got my boy Trey Chaney, produced and directed and written by Jordan Marcel of Southeast Cinemas. I'm excited about this. We've been getting some good reviews. Number one on Tubi, most popular on Tubi. So people are running that up.
Right, and speaking of productions and working with different people.
Mhm.
What would be some advice you could tell an up and coming actor who may not have the funds to attend workshops or school
Mm.
and they just starting off, like, let's say they making skits on YouTube and TikTok?
So I would say pour into doing quality work, but just be diligent in the work. Focus on being the best actor, actress that you can be. Invest in your skill set, invest in your tools, your headshots, your casting sites, all of those different things. These things are imperative for you to be successful in this craft.
Now, I know, like, in the music industry, people tend to try and get a touring manager. And I know in the acting, they look for booking agents.
Mm-hmm.
How does that process work? Finding a booking agent that's for you, that's going to
Uh,
represent you the
I'm
best.
gonna be honest. So, submissions, right? You look up agencies, and I looked up agencies. Now, I'm in a space now where I've been working with my current agents for where some of us are 2, 3. My main agent, we're 6 years in. Now, I will say a lot of agents they make sure or they want talent that has 5 years experience. So that's on the minimum. But I know talent agents that'll go off of feel and work ethic, right? Let's say you haven't been working, but you have a good headshot or you have good potential. Some people sign people off potential, and those be the ones that can go at an instant if they're prepared and doing the things that they need to do to be successful. So I think a lot of it is just about finding your fit, submitting, um, and being patient.
And what would you tell somebody, aspiring actor, who's like, I need to move to LA because Hollywood is over there and everyone become a
Um,
star in Hollywood?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say pray on it before you move. Don't make any rash decisions, right? Don't just up and leave your job and do other things. Prepare for the things that you want, right? These are lessons that I had to learn myself because I did quit the job. I did say I was gonna go out to LA. Never been out to LA. Went to Atlanta, but I never went out to LA. I would say prepare yourself to do the thing that you want to do. If you want to move to LA, prepare yourself for that. Find you a job. Go out to LA a couple of times. Get a feel for the people. Get a feel for the space. If you are an actress or if you're an actor and you're looking for direction or any type of information, please feel free to reach out to me. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. Tyrone Betters here. Y'all can follow me on IG at Tyrone Betters. Right now, we have 2 commercials that are streaming. Degree. It was actually for March Madness. I don't know if that one's moving anymore, but it was a Degree commercial that I got to shoot with a Candace Parker and Chet Holmgren. And then right now, I have a couple of spots that are airing for Reliant Energy.
Thank you, Tyrone, for joining us today on the ARC Spotlight. And everyone, thank you for tuning in. And if you really enjoyed listening to this conversation, make sure you subscribe, like, and follow, and check out Tyrone Betters on all his socials. And definitely reach out to him if you are an actor looking for direction or any type of advice.